breakdown. Treat it going like a K9. I'm about to live my lifestyle. Say piped up till I pipe down. These niggas got a pipe dream. Baby girl, it's sweet as ice cream, and I need you. Better believe me. Sit back, look my cheeks. Why your champagne me? Competition ain't free. I'm about to take them to the tree. They gon' get started to press. People are starting to press. Yeah, I'm petty, and I'm not impressed. I have them holding tests. Like here, I'm hard to test. Told them I'm hard to death. I know what I'm seeing, but they don't believe. Nigga, I'm so much shit. Where would it fall? There's no view. We're undefeated. You better believe it. Fuck me, nigga. I'm getting you. I'm the line on. Like a bomb on. Prepare for the fallout. One way side, what you talking about? Me and my nigga about to ball out. Me and my nigga about to bow out. Tell them where to go to the fallout. I'm on my job, can't call out. I'm in the wind with it all out. Don't give a damn about the track. Regular lose, nigga. You about to lose today. Nigga got moved away. You can even move or you can get moved away. Choose your fate. Most of these fools they fake. Ain't got a card to play. Nigga ain't hard to break. You get dogs today. Like the brother Sean told the hard way. Nigga wait out of your league. Please believe me. But the goal live got all eyes on me. Give a damn what they talking about. Got soldier ride with me. You know I'm lethal. I'm my reap. And I'm gonna get it. Yeah. See, they ain't gonna believe it. Sleep with it, they know that. So the world that can't go there. Ain't the power, I don't know that. Bitch, I'd rather take a toe there. Put it up and go, good to go. Get the boy, know it good as go. It won't smoke, I'm a revenge nigga in my bedroom doing the Tootsie Roll. Big dog, niggas, I'm trying. This is my time. Where the line, where the line. Ain't no to the left. Nigga, I'm flowing the vibe. I know it's gone, I know it's gone, because everything focused. In the room, I'll be the soldier. You see my loaded. The feeling, something been showing me spirit. You go to me, holding me high, man. The leading soul, let go on my shoulder. And I see my shoulder. And then I'm black. Oh, black. Keep speeding flat. You grip it, real. Fuck your nigga, I don't feel it. Fuck your God, I don't feel it. And got his eye about to kill him. Hold on, let me get the rhythm. Okay, I got it, I'm ready. You crossing like he gon' regret it. I'm steady. Hope it keep it going steady. You better believe. Certified, one west side, it ain't hard to tell. It's hard to say. These people raising nigga better watch yourself. Easy stress, taking me blue faces like a document. And I was so hard to fit. Drop with you gotta guard yourself. You know how to keep it, they try to come get me, I'm squeezing, you better believe. Got all eyes on me. Let's go. Give a damn what they talking about. Got soldier ride with me. You know I'm lethal. I got my reason. And I'm gonna get it. Yeah. See, never believe it. Yeah, man. Damn right. 54 million, man. Get the breakdown.
Nice. Y'all got this. Y'all got the microphone. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. This is the, what's this, Tuesday night Brotherhood class, man. Brotherhood class. Tonight we're going to go into one sister, one heathen, all right? Let me correct myself on that. We're going to go into Rahab the Harlot and how, the Christian church is teaching that Rahab is mentioned in the genealogy of Christ. And that's just false and it's untrue. And it just shows how scholarly Christians really are, right? They just listen to whoever was in that damn theology school telling that, yeah, Rahab, right? Rahab is the same Rahab that's in Christ's genealogy. Now, if they can make you believe that, then they can say, see, it ain't all about Israelites. Other people got saved too. You look, this is a harlot that's named in there with in the genealogy of Christ. Oh wait, now anybody can get in there, right? When that's totally a lie. Also, we're going to go into Ruth and how Ruth is an Israelite. If you didn't know that Ruth is an Israelite, Ruth is an Israelite. Right. They also try to teach that Ruth is not an Israelite, so that, of course, if Ruth is not an Israelite and Rahab is not an Israelite, then somehow other people can get salvation with the children of Israel. And that's not the case. Ruth is beyond a shadow of a doubt an Israelite. And you know why these concepts are so hard for Christians to get is because in order for you to understand these concepts, you have to go into the history Where's the history found? In the Old Testament, right? They for some reason, they have a hard time with the Old Testament, Isaiah. I was watching this Christian. They was like, yeah, you know, if you decide to go into the Old Testament, you might not understand everything, but how the hell is it that hard to understand? The Old Testament really isn't that hard. It's about wars, what was going on, where Israel messed up, the punishments, where Israel did good, and, you know, rewards. It's nothing like no real dark sayings or parables or nothing like that in the Old Testament, except some future prophecies, right? You got it.
Yeah, it's crazy because growing up, that's what my mom used to always say, you know, being in a Christian household, my mom used to always push that, you know what I mean? You don't need to go into the Old Testament because that's where you find out God's anger.
Woo!
You know
God's anger.
And it was like, you know, God, he's so forgiving of us now, and we don't want to go back and look at what was going on in the Old Testament, because then you might do something that anger the most.
Man. as if what changed from the Old Testament to now?
Right.
Nothing. We were sinning.
Right.
We broke the covenant, right? Sinning against the Lord. Christ had to come. He came for a reason. Christians think that he just came for absolutely nothing, to come and say what's up to everybody and then die. Right. So we sinned against the Lord. What up, y'all? And yeah, we're talking out on my 40. Nah, but so we broke the law, statutes, and commandments horribly. Right. Not just the nation of Israel. I mean, not just the house of Israel. It was also the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Right. You see what I'm saying? Christ comes. Christ dies to be a mediator to bring us back to the Most High. Oh, wait, now we get to get back in the good graces of the Most High. For what? Just to say the blood of Jesus. Right. You know, just to piss on everything Christ came down here for. Right. Just for our own personal lust. So we could say, nah, I can't do. Or another way out for Christians is he was God. Right. Christ was God. So everything that Christ was able to do, you can't do, brother, because you just a man. Forget that Christ said, be perfect like your Father that's in heaven that's perfect. Right. Forget all that. He's literally telling you can be perfect. Exactly. But you're going to tell Christ that he's wrong. You're not telling me that he's wrong. You're telling Christ. You're telling, I was about to get ghetto. You telling him that he's wrong. Right? You got it.
What you just said was, I was like, it really don't make sense. Like, okay, so we broke the first covenant. Mm-hmm. Why would we be able to be even worse than we were in the beginning? It don't make no sense.
None. That means he literally can't. He didn't have to come. He didn't have to come. We was already breaking the law. For him to come die, and we still break the law. Right. And then we just come up with cockamamie stories like he nailed it to the cross. And what Isaiah, what would they be saying? He nailed it to the cross.
Nailed it to the cross.
Yeah, damn. Well, if he nailed it to the cross, and then so if he nailed it to the cross, we have nothing literally that we have to do. Right. So that means we can just be lawless, and that's a doctrine that's detrimental to the health and to the well-being of black people. You cannot teach black people to be lawless. Right. If you teach a black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian to be lawless, you know what we're gonna do? Make sinning look good. We're going to take sinning and make it look like it's the best thing on earth. I'm telling you. So what we're going to do, right, we're going to tackle Rahab the Harlot. All right. So if I could, Mataziala, can you bring up the Blue Letter Bible for this one? And you know how you can make my screen small. I don't really need to be on the screen. But I want you know how when you go up into the search part, instead of just picking a scripture, just type in Rahab for me if you could. If nobody noticed, right, this is a lot of times I use the Blue Letter Bible. I'm not going to say sometimes, all the time. I use the Blue Letter Bible. And if I want to know something specific about a word or find precepts to a certain word or whatever, I'll type that word in. And of course, it'll give you every scripture that this word is in. Whether it's 10 scriptures, 100 scriptures, 200 or 300 scriptures, whatever. And so when you look up the word Rahab is in the Bible. If you could go up to the top, you know how you type in Rahab and you show like all the scriptures that Rahab is in. Yeah.
The first one is in Joshua chapter 2.
Oh, it don't come up that way.
No, I did.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
It occurs in 10 scriptures. It said right.
Yeah, how you can see it, and it occurs in the 10 scriptures. Yeah. So when you type in the word Rahab, I'm just give you a little a way to start doing your scholarship. You could type in Rahab, and it's going to show you. Yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, the water. And when you type in Rahab, you'll see that Rahab comes up 10 times. All right, I'm not sure if you can make me small and make that big so they can kind of see it, or you can actually. Yeah. If you can actually, you good right there. Can you see that, Koyash?
I can see it. I can check my phone.
Maybe if it occurs in 10 verses, right? And so what you'll see, if you notice about Rahab in these 10 different verses, right? You'll see that 8 of them are in the Old Testament. 8 of the verses are in the Old Testament. 2 of the verses are in the New Testament. 1 being in Hebrew and 1 being in, I believe it's James. And whenever you look at Rahab's name, it always gives an indication. It gives her a title. It either say the harlot Rahab or Rahab the harlot. That's something that you'll be able to see. Could you scroll through those just so a little slow brother can see those? You know, it says the harlot named Rahab the harlot. A couple of them don't say anything, right? But for the most part, I think it's only 1 or 2 just say Rahab. But for the most part, all of the scriptures is going to say Rahab the harlot or harlot the harlot Rahab. All right. So, where is it? Where is Rahab? Where is it first at? It's in Joshua.
Joshua chapter 2, verse 1.
Okay, Joshua 2 and 1. Let's go there real quick, just so we can even know who Rahab is. You said Joshua 2 and 1. All right, and anybody can.
Joshua chapter 2 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And Joshua the son of Nun sent out Shittim two men to spy secretly, saying, "Go view the land, even Jericho." And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab, and lodged there.
Right. So the brother Joshua sent out. Joshua sent out 2 brothers. He's the son of Nun also. He sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly in that land that Rahab was living in. Right? Read on.
And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, "Behold, there came men in the hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country."
Mm-hmm.
And the king of Jericho said,
hold on, real quick. I'm going to just break it down real quick. And it says, and it was told the king of Jericho. So at that time, evidently somebody seen these 2 brothers come into Jericho. And when they seen them, they told the king comes to the lady's house. Salakia. No, this is just them telling the king that 2 people came in from Israel to search out the country. Salakia. Read on.
And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, "Bring forth the men that are come to thee."
Right. So evidently, the people that's telling the king that they seen the Israelites come in there, they seen them come into Rahab's house. And so now he's like, "Hey, send me them 2 dudes that came into your crib." Go ahead.
"Which are entered into thy house, for they become to search out all the country."
Mm-hmm. So they become to search out all the country. What does that mean?
They came to search the whole country.
Right. They like casing the place. Right. They checking everything out, seeing where your strong points at, seeing where maybe you keep your ammunition, seeing where all the women and children are at, seeing where you keep your cattle. It's scoping out the place. Right. Read on.
And the woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said thus, "There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were."
Right. So she hit them. And then when they came, she was like, "Man, look, they came, but I don't know where they went." Read on.
And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whether the men went, I wot not.
Right. They went out the gate, but where they went, I don't know where they went. Go ahead.
Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them.
But if you hurry up, you might be able to catch up to them. Right? Read on.
But she had brought them up to the roof of the house and hid them with the stalks of flax.
Right. They really was up on the top of the house. Go ahead.
Which she had laid in order upon the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And the man pursued after them the way to Jordan unto the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them, they were going out, they shut the gate.
Right. So the guys went out to go look for the two brothers, and when they went out, they shut the gate. Go ahead.
And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, I know the Lord have given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you.
Mm-hmm.
For we have heard how the Lord...
So you see how, but you see how she made a statement right there. She said that, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land. So she knows that she knows why they're there. Right. And that your terror is fallen upon us. And that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you, or become weak because of you. Right. So she knows why these brothers is there. Right. Anybody else ain't gonna give up your people. You're gonna die with your people. Why would I give up my people? That just goes to show, like, when Christians try to say, oh, look, Rahab the Harlot, man, do you understand that she gave up her whole everybody to save her skin, to save her behind? Right. Read on.
For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you, when ye came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites, that they were on the other side of Jordan. What's that? Sihon and Og
and Og. And that actually is going to come into play when we talk about Ruth, because remember, Israel took over the land of the Amorites and went up to Og and took all that over too. All right.
Whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we had heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did they remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is a God in heaven above and earth beneath. Now therefore I pray you, serve me unto by the Lord. Swear unto me by the Lord, since I have shewed you kindness, that ye will also shew kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token. Right.
So give me a true, give me a sign that nothing's going to happen to me and my house. Look, I showed you this favor. Please don't kill me tonight, because I ain't ready to die. You got it.
So, you know what that sounds like?
What's that?
That sounds like when the cops get our brothers in the joint, and they be like, listen, man, you're going down for a long time.
Yeah.
You're going down for a long time. You're like, listen, how can I lessen these charges?
Yeah. Well, you can give up your people.
Yeah, give up your people. And that's exactly what's going on.
I don't know about that. All right. Didn't take her quite that long to figure it out.
Yeah, she came after them.
She know damn well what's going on with these brothers right here. And one thing, let me show you something else. Let me show you something else that these people know. Everybody knows about the God of Israel. Right. And everybody knows when the God of Israel is on your damn side, man. Right. They know that. They're like, the Lord is on your side. We seen the terror that y'all doing right here. Look, man, look, just I showed you favor. Please show me favor. Right. You can read on.
Verse 13. And that ye will save alive my father and my mother and my brethren and my sisters and all that have, and deliver our lives from death.
Right. So she's just trying to save herself. That's it. Right. And how is this salvation? How is this salvation? You got to give up all your people? And Christians will actually use this as an example. This is a horrible example of another nation getting salvation. When we tell you, we'll read Isaiah the 14th chapter. We'll read Isaiah the 60th chapter. When they talk about the strangers, oh my God, the strangers is going to be with the Israelites and everybody's going to see. It says everybody going to be coming to the mountain of the Lord and worshiping the Lord. That is true. We're not saying that people won't be coming to worship the Lord, right? Because you won't be worshiping no box in Mecca no more. Right. You won't be allowed to worship whatever gods that are on the earth today. Whatever you worship today, that will not be allowed to be worshiped. Of course, everybody will be coming to Jerusalem to pray to the Lord. Right. That's the goal. Right. Why do we got to wait for Christ to come back for that to happen now? You see what I'm saying? Everybody say they love the God of Israel, but they really don't. No, they really don't. They love their whatever conceived notion they created about the God of Israel. They love that, but they don't love the God of Israel or his people. All right, so read on. Verse
14. And the men answer her, our lives for yours. If ye utter not this, our business. And it shall be, when the Lord hath given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with thee.
So they made the deal, right? They made the deal. All right. Yeah. We'll save your life. That is not salvation right there. Right? Again, Christians say, hey, man, the Gentiles and the strangers. And then when you read those scriptures have Gentile and strangers in them. But it shows how the strangers are going to come and they're going to be the one that build up our walls. They're going to be the ones that serve us. They're going to be the ones that take care of everything that we need to get taken care of. The same way we did them. That's only right. If that's what you want to call salvation, then that's their salvation. That's their salvation when we're ruling over top of them. That's their salvation. Our salvation is when Christ come and put us in that position to rule, right? Save us from you and put us in that position over top of you to rule over you. And to do what? To get this earth in order. The earth has to get in order. You see what the scriptures say, man, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So then it's not hard to figure out who the wicked is. We see who runs the earth. What else does the scripture say? It says, when the righteous beareth rule, the earth rejoices. The earth is not rejoicing. The people are not rejoicing right now. The people are in mourning. And when it says, when the wicked beareth rule, the people, what I say, mourn? That's what's going on. And we see who's in power. We see who's in power, and we see who mourns all around the earth. We see who mourns. We see who's doing the unjust acts, right? But still, nobody sees it but us. But we just some crazy niggas. We just some crazy niggas from out of jail. We some crazy dudes that don't know anything. That's how they all try to make it seem like oh, they just some niggas that don't know nothing. But I have a doctorate. You know, I be watching a lot of them little hats, and a lot of them got doctor in front of their name. And usually, whenever they debate an Israelite, they never. Y'all know who I'm talking about when I say little. Right. Right. And whenever you see if you ever see them debate an Israelite, watch how much scholarship they bring. They literally bring none. Right. They absolutely bring none. Everything that they say, nothing comes out the Bible. They don't even bring you an article or nothing. It's just I'm a doctor, so take everything that I say out my mouth for face value. Right. And then the Israelite will beat them up. And so I'm like, it's kind of useless. It's pointless, but it does serve its purpose in the fact that now people get to see how this one group of people claims that they're, these Israelites, and for a long time they've been saying that they're the only Israelites. Until the Israelites came on the scene and said, no, Israelites are black people. These people never acknowledged that a black person that Israel was even black. But y'all know the new doctrine out there right now, right? Y'all know the new doctrine? Oh, man. This is the new doctrine, that the Israelites were black. You can't get around it. We can show you the pictures. It's on the walls of Egypt. You can't get around it. But somehow around this, the 10th, 9th, 8th, 9th, and 10th century. Hold on, no. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th centuries, they turn white.
Right. Oh.
The Israelites turned white, went up to Europe, the bottleneck, never mixed or mingled with anybody else, and then became a whole new phenotype, a whole new race, a whole new everything. Like, we don't even got the same phenotype.
That's crazy.
Not the same hair, not the same, like literally everything's different. Eyes different, nose different, shape of the skull is different, body shape, everything's different. You just literally turned into a whole new people. But we're still here, but we're still here. You know what that reminds me of? Evolution. Right. It reminds me of the concept of evolution where they say monkeys turned into men. Right. But evolution, that means that changed. That means that monkey changed into a man, that we still shouldn't see monkeys. It still shouldn't be man and monkey. Right. So the Israelites changed into Caucasian people, but we still see Negroes and we still see the black Israelites and white right. So-called Israelites. So that wouldn't make no sense on earth.
So then who are we? If that's the case,
right?
If at one point we was all the Israelites was black,
and
then we went through this whole bottleneck, and then we all came out white. Then who are we?
Right? I don't know. They still try to push that y'all African. Y'all Hamites. They still try to push that y'all Hamites. But now they're trying to acknowledge it. They're saying, hey, well, maybe the Israelites do have, maybe there is some validation of what the Israelites are saying. There really are black Jews. But, the black Israelites, I seen a dude, is his name Greens? Who runs the ADL now? The bald head dude? Something like that. Green Splat or Green Splat? No, it's not. Whoever the bald head dude that was on there talking to Charlemagne. He was on Breakfast Club. He runs the ADL. Yeah, he runs the ADL right now. It's not the other dude with the glasses, the bald head dude, right? So he's on there, and so he starts to talk about how Jews are black. Some of them are black too, right? But then when he starts to talk about the Israelites, he starts to say, yeah, but then, and he gets this defensive posture, and he's like, and 3 years ago, Israelites ran in there and killed somebody. And, anytime they even mention us, they try to demonize us in the same sentence, right? They try to demonize us in the same sentence. So right here, we see that. I just wanted to give you all a little backdrop of Rahab. What is even the story behind her? Israelites came to spy out her town because, of course, this is when we on destruction mode. This is when we in there doing what the Lord sent us out there to do in that wilderness, right? We in there gaining our inheritances, right? We getting the different people that we're taking over. We're taking those different parts of land. Right. So Judah, y'all get this. Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben. We're actually taking the land by force. We're not walking up there asking them nothing. Why? If you got that scripture, the great and terrible guy, let me get that if I could. Okay. We're not walking up there. The God that we serve is a man of war. He's not going to have us knocking on your door asking you for anything. Salaki.
I was going to say that guy, I think his name is Jonathan Greenblatt.
Block?
Greenblatt.
Oh, Greenblatt. Oh, Jonathan Greenblatt. Jonathan Greenblatt.
CEO of ADL.
Right, he's the CEO of the ADL. If you get a chance, you can watch that, right? And you can watch that, and you'll see them. They'll all admit to there's Jews of color, but they still never say who they are. They never say who they are. But I don't care. This is what they all say. I don't care if you want to say that, you a Jew and what color they are, but as long as you don't infringe or impinge on me claiming what I want to be. That's the new thing. That's the new thing, because you're back against the wall, right? We're in the wilderness. We're taking these lands by force. Why? Could you read that for me?
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 21. Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, For the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible.
It says, do not be affrighted. Yeah, you might walk up to this land and see, man, everybody might be 6'7", 200 and something pounds, built like a Mack truck. Don't be affrighted. Right. Don't even care. You don't care what they look like. You don't care how strong they are. You don't care what their track record is or what their reputation is in the streets. You know how everybody like to say, my name ring bells. Yeah, right. You better go check my resume. Yeah, we don't give a damn what your resume is. Right? Because the Lord put us in the spirit to say, to damn all that. What was that last part again?
For the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible.
Man, the Lord is among us. Mighty and terrible. Not mighty and gay. Right? Mighty and terrible. That's the God I want to serve because that's the spirit that we have. For so long, we had that spirit of America, man. It's refreshing to have a spirit where I can get on, I can start talking, yell, do it the hell I want. You know what I mean? I can be me. That's the God I want to serve. All right, so you got it. You got it.
Psalms.
Is that I think that's the other one that the brother had.
68:35.
You got it. Psalms 68:35.
Let me get it. I got it, sir. I got it, sir.
Out the bottom.
Psalms chapter 68 and verse 35. O God, thou art terrible out of thy holy places. The God of Israel is he that giveth strength and power unto his people. Blessed be God.
Yeah, it's the Lord that give us strength. You know, a lot of times we try to get our strength in America, or we try to get our strength in numbers, or we try to get our strength in everything other than the Lord. Right? When you're not going to go into the Christian church and get strength. Let's just get that out the way. You're not going to go in there and get no strength. And contrary to popular belief, although we think Islam is so militant, you're not going to go get no strength in there neither. You're going to go in there, you're going to go into that Islam, brother, and become weak. You're going to go in that Islam and you're going to love all them Ishmaelites. And you're going to hate your brother. Why? Because that's what it tells you to do. That book tells you it doesn't matter if it's even the people from the book. If they unbelieve, fight them. Fight them that don't believe. Well, brother, I'm your brother. I'm an Israelite. And I don't believe in that garbage. Right. But you believe in that garbage. But you're going to fight me because that's what your book tells you to do. Right. You're going to fight. That book commands you to be unbrotherly. It commands you to be unbrotherly. Was you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that place teaches you to fear your brother. Right. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to speak up against anything that's being said. Mm-hmm. You rather listen to a brother talk about how Ishmael is over us. But if you looking at the book and you see the truth, you be afraid to speak up against it because your brother might kill you.
I'm telling you, man. Like, I got a new YouTube channel too, y'all. I'm putting my first video up. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. I just started a new YouTube channel. It's called Facts or Facts. Facts or Facts. Hey, you can't shut me down, man, because I got facts. It's gonna be a book. I ain't gonna say none of my own opinion. I'll let whoever's watching it, you gather your own opinion. Right. And you type it down in the comment section. All right, facts are facts, man. I ain't gotta say nothing. All right, I'm gonna let the material speak for itself. All right. And so now we got the story behind Rahab. Now, was Rahab mentioned? Okay, give me Matthew, the first chapter. Show you something real quick. I seen the debate. He was like, and Rahab the harlot was mentioned in the genealogy with Christ. Like, God damn, you're a little forceful with that, man.
How you said it, sir?
Yeah, that's how he said it. I'm like, y'all know who I'm talking about too. I mean, he said it like, golly.
Right. It's like, if I may, even in the Old Testament, when you look up, like you said, you look up things in the Blue Letter Bible.
Yeah.
Even in the Old Testament, that word Rahab has two different Hebrew numbers for it. It's two different words that for that same word, Rahab the harlot. It's used as Egypt also, and it's the same spelling, but two different numbers,
two different meanings, right? And a lot of times, like, okay, this is what Christians do. They just take whatever you say at face value. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to open up the damn book, even if we at camp and you just listen to me. Look, we got extra Bibles. Open the damn book so you can see what we're looking at.
Right.
If I'm telling you, I'm showing you a map, or if I'm showing you something, take your phone out and Google the same damn map so you already have it when you walk away from me.
Right.
So it ain't like, okay, yeah, you don't really definitively know if what I'm saying is true or not. But if you actually see it with your own eyes, then you can say that I've seen this with my own eyes, right? So Matthew, but that's a good point. Tonight, how I'm going to show that this is not that Rahab in the Old Testament is not the Rahab that's in this Matthew the first chapter, is by Greek. Let's show you using the Greek though. Where was can somebody just start from somebody read Matthew, and this is the genealogy of Christ. So can somebody, we just not going to read all the way from the top to freaking 5, but can somebody read verse 5?
Kind of what kind? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 5.
4, please.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 4. And Aram begat Aminadab. Mm-hmm. And Aminadab begat Naason. And Naason begat Salmon. Mm-hmm.
So we see this brother Salmon is the last brother that's mentioned in that verse right there. Go ahead.
And Salmon begat Boaz. Of Rahab.
Of Rahab.
Salakia. Mm-hmm. And Boaz begat Obed of Ruth. And Obed begot Jesse, right? Begot Jesse, kind of what kind.
So it says Salmon begot Boaz of Rahab. Mm-hmm. So we see that it's saying that the brother Salmon had a son named Boaz by Rahab. And what Christians are saying is that's Rahab, right? Now, where the hell is that was Boaz even in the story with Rahab?
Right.
No. Boaz is in the story with Ruth. Right. Now, when you go past the semicolon right there after Rahab, right? It says Boaz begot Obed of Ruth. Mm-hmm. So we know that Boaz and Ruth had Obed. Mm-hmm. When you go before the semicolon, it says Salmon begat Boaz of Rahab. So we know that Salmon and Rahab had Boaz. Just right there, you can tell that. I got one up here. Just right there, you can tell that that's not even the same people. That's saying that in verse 5, it's saying Salmon and Rahab had Boaz, and Boaz and Ruth had Obed. You see that? Two different people. Two different people, two different stories, two different names. Now I'm gonna show you. Could you put Rahab on the screen and go to whichever one you see, and I think it's Hebrews, and look up that name Rahab in the Greek. So let's see what it say for Rahab in the Greek. Rahab, G4460. And y'all see, okay, you see that Greek word? Hold on, before you go back up real quick. You see that Greek word right there, right? Somehow, let's everybody pay attention to that Greek word. It's I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write the characters down now. I'm gonna write the characters down. Look like an apostrophe. Greek was a whack language, man. It looked like an apostrophe, a big P, a little a with the thing on the top, and whatever that is, PB, yeah, PB, PB, right? And so when you go down, and that, the transliteration is Rahab, Raab, Rahab, right? And I'm gonna write that underneath, Rahab. And when you go down, it'll show you that it's. Could you go down some? You'll see that it's Rahab, a harlot of Jericho. Ooh wee. All right. Now let's compare that to Rahab that's in Matthew. And it gives you the Hebrew.
Hebrew 7:87343.
I'm gonna write that down real quick because I think Rahab gives you this. Hold on, H. Let's say 7343. Okay, so now let's look up the Rahab in the Hebrew. And then we're gonna put this to rest real quick. I might not even get through I'll get through the whole breakdown on Ruth. See, now look, that's a different Greek word. It's a different Greek word. I'll write that one down. It definitely close, very close, but no cigar. And what does it say at the bottom? The transliteration is Rahab. Already, there's a difference. Now, let me show you. Now, I just showed you there's a difference, right? Now, because remember, Rahab is mentioned in the New Testament, just like it's mentioned in the Old Testament, right? So already, those two, if Rahab is the same as Rahab in Matthew, the first chapter, those names shouldn't be different. Right. Those names should already be the same. It's in the New Testament. We looking at Greek, ain't we? They would have wrote both of the words the same. They would have wrote both of the words the same. Right. But I'm going to show you how one is the same Rahab from the Old Testament. Now, if you could pull up Rahab from the Old Testament for me. So we see that Rahab in Hebrews and James is not the same as Rahab in Matthew 1 and 5. This is why we got to do research. Even though the Blue Letter Bible, even though freaking the Strongs, whoever is telling us, no, it's the same Rahab, it's the same one. Man, look, I got to dig a little bit deeper here because I'm just not going to take what the Christians say for face value. All right, so now we got that Rahab right there, right? Now, right, which is the same one from the New Testament, for the Hebrew one, right? Now, could you back out of that one? Now go all the way up to where you can click on Septuagint. Because remember, the Septuagint was written so the brothers that spoke Greek could read these scriptures in Greek. So that's why we have this. Do you have the Septuagint? Should be, go up real quick. It should be down a little bit. It should be one of those tabs right there. It ain't a tab right there. Oh, mine has a tab right there where it says Septuagint. Hold on 1 second. I got you. 1 second. Because mine on my Blue Letter Bible does say, last night I checked it and it says Septuagint. I made sure I checked it just because I haven't seen it in a while, but I made sure it was still the same. Y'all bear with me. All right. Oh, it's next to forward. Yours starts at forward. It's to the left of forward. You know how sometimes, because we have our screens minimized, it's on the left or forward. Or if you can't get to it, then I'll just show it off of the tablet. It's okay. I'll show it off the tablet. Yeah, that's Septuagint. Yes. Yes. And then go down to Rahab. Right? Because remember, the Septuagint was created for brothers to be able to read these scriptures in Greek. Brothers that was in Ephesus, the brothers that was in all these different places, right? And you should be able to go down to Rahab. Oh, yeah. It is going to look different.
Oh, there you go.
It's still going to, but you remember the characters. You remember the
4, 4, 6.
Yeah, you remember the characters look like that. That's it. Now, when you go in there, that's the same Rahab. It's the same Greek. It's the same characters. Remember, the Rahab, they're saying that Rahab in the New Testament is Rahab. So in order for us to make sure that it's not, we have to look up that word in Greek because it's in Greek. And we have to look up Rahab that's in the New Testament in Greek. Then we have to look up that word in the Old Testament in Greek to make sure that matches. And it matches. It does not match with Rahab. It doesn't matter. Even the two scriptures that it mentions Rahab in the New Testament says Rahab the Harlot. Because that's a title. That's for us to know who the hell we're talking about. Right, the difference. So it was not no harlot mentioned in the genealogy of Christ. I mean, you could literally just walk around with a piece of paper with two different Greek words. It's two different Greek words. Rahab is not the same as Rahab in Greek. So we ain't got to really argue that no more. Ain't got to argue that no more. You got it.
If I may. Even also, like that, when you're talking about where Boaz and Ruth,
yeah,
that happened during the time of the judges, and
during the time of the judges,
and they said that they was making a case in the, I believe it was in Judges, where they said that they've been in this land for over 400 years.
Yeah,
so
yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, unless she lived over 400
old
years.
As hell. Ruth, old as a mud, right? Because the Israelites, when we came into that land, right, which we're about to start going into, because we're going to switch it over to Ruth. When we got into that land, I'm gonna just give you the gist of it. When we took over that land, and we took over the land of the Amorites and all that, and up to Og, when we took all that stuff over, we was in that land for 300 years. Right. And we was in that land for 300 years before the nation of Ammon said, wait a minute, that land belonged to us. And then the Israelites, that's how you know it was 300 years, because the brother at that time was like, wait a minute, we've been here for 300 years and you just now saying something? Right. You just now saying something? All right, let's see if you get this land. Let's see if you get this. He was trying to be slick. The dude from Ammon was trying to be slick. All right. So Rahab, the harlot, is not mentioned in the genealogy of Christ. All right. Now, when it comes to Ruth, can somebody give me Ruth 1 and 1? Okay. Now, I don't have no fancy maps or anything like that. What I was going to do was, and maybe I'll do this on my channel, is I was going to give you some maps that like circled stuff and actually give you the like a good picture of what you looking at. But me and Bataziala found a couple maps that, you know, pretty decent that we could show you in the classroom and still show in the front of the camera where people can get a gist of what we're saying. All right, so if somebody has Ruth, let me get oh, okay, that's cool. He did say the camera, the computer been acting crazy. So Ruth was an Israelite? That is the question. And you know what's crazy, Isaiah War? In Christianity, right? In Christianity, all Christians don't believe that Ruth was a heathen. There is a sect of Christianity that believes that Ruth was an Israelite. And I listened to the Christians that believed that Ruth was an Israelite, and they had the same scriptures that I had. So, yeah, they got the same scriptures, right? And one thing they understood is that you have to understand the history of Israel. You have to understand, when we was in the wilderness taking over these places, to understand Ruth. So could you read Ruth 1:1?
Kind of a kind. This is the book of Ruth, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land.
Right. So if I could stop you real quick right there. This is during the time of Judges. Now in the I don't know how true this is. I do know it's definitely in the time of Judges. It's at the same exact time that Judges is going on. Right. Remember, Judges is when we didn't have a king in Israel, but we had people that was put in place to be able to judge Israel, right? Now, and you know how at the beginning of these chapters, they might have like a little paragraph or something that kind of explains, it might explain a little bit about what you're about to read. And one thing that it does say here, it says, the name of the author is not given, but traditionally, the book is credited to Samuel. The book of Ruth was originally part of the book of Judges, right? So that's what it's saying. However, I don't know if it was exactly a part of Judges. I do know it was going on at the same time. And because of this story, it warrants his own book because of the sister, right? So it was famine in the land. So this is during the time of Judges. It was famine in the land. Read on.
Kind of a kind. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab.
So do y'all know where Judah is? Judah, okay. We got any of those maps? Let me show y'all some. Matter of fact, you got your Bible with you? You might have it. You might have a map in the back of your Bible. Oh, you got you one too? Well, I think we all got the same picture in here too. Oh, you got some decent pictures over there. They're just kind of small. So if y'all look onto the right hand side, right, we're gonna the whole place in question, or that we're going to talk about today, the history that we're going to read today, is from Moab. You see the bottom on the right hand side, Moab. You see where Moab is, all the way up to mine say East Manasseh, because half the tribe of Manasseh was over here, and the other half went to Canaan, to the Promised Land. All right, so this is all of the territory that we're going to talk about today. Now, the brother and the sister that was mentioned in verse 1 is coming from Judah, from Bethlehem, Judah. This is Bethlehem right here. This is this land. All of this is Judah, and this is Bethlehem. So they came from here, right, over to here in the land of Reuben. You're going to see that the plains of Moab is in the land of Reuben. All right. All right, so they said that a brother and a certain man, we'll find out who it is in a second, came from Bethlehem, Judah, and went to sojourn in the country of Moab. Can somebody look that up for me real quick? Blue letter, country of Moab. It says something about, this is me. Let me look up the country of Moab real quick. Where's that? Those maps, you got those maps? Yeah, it looked like you got some good maps in there too. Country, do you have the 12 tribes? Let me see. You have a map with the 12 tribes, or do you have a map with like Ammon and?
Yeah, this one right
here. Let me see that real quick. I might have you show that to the. Yeah, no sweat. Yeah, definitely that. Definitely that you see that Arnon River and the Jabbok River. And they got the plains of Moab. So I might have you show this real quick to the. You could go ahead.
I gotta figure.
Let me see. That one. Yeah, it got Idri. It got Moab, Heshbon. All right, so this is definitely good. If you could just show this to the people that's on the screen. All right. Lift it up. Go up. See, you see Edom right there, right? So we're about to start. You see Moab right there, and then right below Moab, you'll see Edom. So the first place that we're going to go to, we're going to start to read about Edom. All right, cool. You good to go. All right. So when it says that they went into the country of Moab. So when you look up the word country of, right, it says Shaddah, H7704, Shaddah, right? And when it says Shaddah, when you look up the country of Moab, and you look up the country of Moab and you see the definitions, it says field, it says land, cultivated field, a home of wild beasts, plain. So the country of Moab is still the same as the plains of Moab. You got it. Right there where that circle is. See that circle? That is the plains or the country of Moab. And then you'll see the black line at the bottom. The black squiggly line, that first river is the Arnon River. And above the Arnon River, the top black line that you see right there, that I did with my pen, is the Jabbok River. So this is the history that we're going to read between the Arnon and the Jabbok. All right. And when you look up country of Moab in the Blue Letter Bible, one of the definition is plains. So plains of Moab is the same as country of Moab, right? So the sister came from this specific area. It's just giving you a description of the exact area she came from. All right. So verse 2. Who was reading? Was that you? What you got on that map back there, man? I need to see that map, buddy. Hey, you had to. Hey, he was staring at that map, boy. Yeah. Hey, Koyaswan, what kind of map you found back there? What, they got all the 12 tribes on there? Oh, Brook and Keyshawn? Yeah. Yeah. The Koyaswan. Yeah.
All right. Colonel McCann.
I found one of these maps got it's weird in English, but it says Mitzpah. That's Matazapah. Mizpah is Matazapah.
That's dope, man. All right, pick up at 2 or sorry,
please.
All right, Colonel McCann. And the name of the man was Elimelech.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of his wife was Naomi.
Right. So Elimelech came from Judah. So we seen that Judah was on the left-hand side of the Dead Sea. And he came into the land of Moab or the plains of Moab or the country of Moab. He came to the right-hand side of the Dead Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Read on.
And the name of his 2 sons, Malon and Kilion.
Uh-huh.
Ephrathites of Bethlehem, Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And they came into the country of Moab and continued there.
Right. So we're going to stop it there and start going through the history, right? We see that this brother came from Judah. He came from the left-hand side of the Dead Sea. If you have your map, the left-hand side of the Dead Sea, you'll see that Judah settled in that place right there when we came into the land of Israel. Now, the history that we're about to read is us in the wilderness going into the land of Israel. But before we could get into the land of Israel, remember, we had to go travel up the King's Highway and all that kind of stuff like that. Right. And then cross over the Jordan, and then we was in the land of Israel. So we had to, it wasn't just like, yeah, you're just gonna walk straight up in there. We had to go through some stuff first. Right. And the first thing that we had to go through is we had to go through Esau. Right. Right. Give me Numbers chapter 21 and verse 4. We had to go through Edom. You got it.
Is this before the battle of the Midianites?
Is this before the battle of the Midianites? I believe this got to be before the Midianites. Yeah. Yeah, because they don't even, in the history that I'm about to mention, I'm not even going to mention the Midianites.
You said 21, sir?
Yes. Numbers chapter 21. And of course, y'all, I'm going to be jumping around. I can't read every chapter for chapter. But if you want the full history, I'm going to start in Numbers 21, right? I'm going to jump around in Numbers 21, but you can read the whole Numbers 21 for yourself, right? So Numbers 21, and we'll start at 1.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 21 and verse 1. And when King Arad, the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard tell that Israel came by the way of the spies. Then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners.
Right. So we came past a certain spot of the Canaanites, right? And they seen the spies, and they went out and fought against Israel and captured some of them, right? Read on.
And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord and said, if thou wilt indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities.
And then we made a vow to the Lord. Don't we always do that too, right? Lord, if you get me out this ticket, Lord, I ain't gonna smoke no more weed. Lord, we vow a vow to the Lord, right? If you could just watch over me when I go in here and just put it on the judge's heart to just give me a second chance, Lord, I won't steal cars no more. Right. We vowed a vow to the Lord, right? We said, look, if you will deliver the people into our hand, we will utterly destroy. What does utterly destroy mean?
Nothing left.
Nothing left, right? You right. Read on.
And the Lord hearkened to the voice of Israel.
Look, man, the Lord listened to us. This is the concept that Christians have a hard time teaching black people. The Lord is listening to us, but we ain't listening to him. You understand what I'm saying? We ask for something, he's all right. But we don't listen to him. Right. We don't reciprocate that listening back. Right. We don't give him an ear. He gives us an ear, but we don't give him one. Come on now. Right? I just wanted to make that point. So, and the Lord hearkened or listened to the voice of Israel. Read on.
And delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. And he called the name of the place Ramah. Right.
So we utterly destroyed these people. Right. And then we called it a new name. Right. Read on.
And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. Right. So now, oh, the Red Sea too far down on my paper. But so now we go down by the Red Sea. And then you remember we seen that Edom was at the bottom, and then you see Moab, you see Ammon off to the right, and then you see, okay. So now we come down by Edom. And brothers and sisters are already like, God damn. It says, and the people spake against, 4. And they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was discouraged because of like, damn, we got to go next to these goddamn Edomites, man. Horrible Edomites, goddamn cavemen. Now we got to go. You know, the dudes that was on, was that Progressive? What commercial was that? They always had to show the caveman. Oh,
insurance commercial.
I think it was Progressive, back in the day.
Yeah, they always, every commercial was the caveman. we got to walk past these ooga boogas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We got to walk past the ooga boogas. So everybody, God, man. Verse 5.
And the people spake against God.
Now, this is now I don't really have to go into this, but I'm going to give you this just because, right? And because of that fact, because we had to walk past the goddamn Edomites, everybody spake against the Most High and against Moses. Remember, this is the story where it talks about this the brass serpent, where Moses had to make the serpent on the staff. This is where the same staff that is on every ambulance. Yeah, on the same all the ambulances, right? This is they get that picture, or they get that they got that concept for that picture from here, right from Numbers, the 21st chapter. And because we had to go by the Edomites, right? Everybody was complaining, and now not only did we just asked the Lord, look, if you deliver these Canaanites in our hand, then we're gonna utterly destroy them. The Lord listened, and we see the power of the Lord. Right. But then we still question them when it comes time for the Edomites, as if there's anything different from the Canaanites and the Edomites. We don't. The point is, we shouldn't care how strong none of these goddamn nations is, man. If we trust in the Lord, it don't matter. And that's the problem with Christianity. Christianity fears the other nations. They fear what white people can do. They fear what everybody can do. So they just try to teach inclusion. Right. When you don't have to fear that. You don't have to fear them. You don't have to fear nothing that they do if you trust in the Lord, because the Lord will be on your side. How many times have we read it? The Lord will be thine enemy. Trust in the Lord, and we won't even have to do nothing. The Lord will be an enemy to our enemies. That's right. Like, come on, man. We know that the Lord will be, we understand that, but then always in the time of weakness, we'll question the Lord. Right. Question Commander General, whoever the Lord sent, or is the prophet or the person at that time, we'll always question them. Right. So I just speed it up for a time's sake. When that happened, when they questioned the Lord and they questioned Moses, the Lord sent the fiery serpents. With his fiery serpents, poisonous snakes. They sent poisonous snakes to go bite niggas. The Lord commanded Moses to make this staff with the brass serpent that went down it. And anybody who looked onto this staff with the serpent was healed. All right, now we'll drop down to verse 10. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 21 and verse 10. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in Abath. Mm-hmm. And they journeyed from Abath and pitched at Ijabarim, in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sunrise. Right. So now, at this time, so we'll just keep going. Keep going. From thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zered. Mm-hmm. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon. So the other side of the Arnon, right? Arnon is a river. All right, and we're about to show you the Arnon River in 1 second after the brother finished reading this scripture. Read on. Which is in the wilderness that cometh out of the coast of the Amorites. Mm-hmm. For Arnon is the brother of Moab. Is the border. Is the border of Moab. Mm-hmm. Between Moab and the Amorites. If I could I see that book? Could I see? So if you could show them the Arnon. So if you see, could you go? Yeah. So you see Moab is behind that dark pin line right there, right? You'll see Moab, and that pin line is the Arnon River. I followed it with my pin. That's perfect. That's the Arnon River. So the Arnon River separates Moab and the Amorites. Mm-hmm. All right. So now could you go down just a little bit? So from the Arnon, so from that bottom line, go up some or down some to that other river, the Jabbok. That's the Amorites. That's the Amorites land right there. All of that land from the bottom river to that top river is ran by the Amorites. All right. So we come up around the bottom. we come up by Moab, and then it says that the Arnon is the border of Moab between Moab and the Amorites. All right, so now we kind of getting you. Can you see that back there on your book right there? All right, read on.
Wherefore it is said in the book, I'm in verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon.
Drop down to 21, so like it.
This book of Numbers chapter 21 and verse 21. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon or Sion, king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through thy land.
And also, a matter of fact, go up to 20. I'm gonna see if I can. Do y'all? Can you know how to put a map in here that says it's Bamoth? I want to find a map that says Bamoth. Could you go up to 20?
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 21 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab.
Right. So what is that saying? That is saying that Bamoth is in the country of Moab. So if we can find Bamoth on the map, then we'll know where the country of Moab is. Right, Bamoth. And from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of Pisgah, which looketh towards Jeshimon. So if we can find Bamoth on the map, we should be able to find, or we'll know where the plains of Moab. Right, and then that map that the map that Mataziala has, it has the plains of Moab, right? But it doesn't have the Bamoth part. Bamoth, you're only gonna see Bamoth on. Bear with me real quick. Now I have this map right here, and I'm not sure if I can. Let me see if this works. Can y'all see that? On is somebody looking through the phone? Can somebody see if they see that through the phone? If you go to I want to see if the people out there can see it. I'll share my screen to see if they can see this map called. Yeah, I think I did. I gotta. It's not on the stream. Okay, there we go. There we go. So can they see that? Can you make mine? Can you make? Let's see how we.
It's real small. You have to do like the whole screen.
There we go. See, Mataziala got me, man. This is Mataziala. Can you see it? You can see the whole thing. It's big on the screen.
It's a nice size.
Okay, so if you look at that, you can see Bamoth. Can you see Bamoth?
Yeah.
It's on the right hand side of the Dead Sea. Right. Most High in Christ. So it's on the right hand side of the Dead Sea. Can y'all see Jericho? Yeah, Bamoth, Peor, Bamoth, Baal, whatever. Yeah. Can y'all see Jericho on that picture? Okay, so
wait.
Jericho should be on the around the top part of the Dead Sea on the left hand side. Around the top hand, I said top hand. So Jericho, you'll when we read it, you'll see that the plains of Moab and Bamoth is on the right hand side of Jericho. On the right hand side of the Dead Sea. All right, I'm just trying to give you an example of where the country of Moab is, aka the plains of Moab. All right, And it gave you an example. It said, Bamoth is the country of Moab. So from where you would see plains of Moab on the map, draw a circle from there to the Bamoth, and that would be the whole circle. That would be the radius of the plains of Moab. That's the full radius of it, right? And that radius of the plains of Moab is in the land of Reuben, right? When y'all look in y'all book, you look at the right-hand side. I'm just giving you place points to see where the plains of Moab is, because when you look in the back of your Bible, or if you look at a map online, it kind of doesn't show you that all at the one time. It might just show you like Reuben, Gad, Manasseh. So you'll see at that right-hand side, you'll see that should be in Reuben. Some pictures it'll look like it's in Gad. Some pictures it'll look like it's in Gad. All right. But we kind of know where we're looking at. Isaiah, where you know where you're looking at?
I have a joint that say plains.
Oh, you got the plains of Moab?
Plains of Moab.
Okay, good. All right, so we could take that off. I just wanted everybody out there to kind of see Bamoth, right? If you see a picture with Bamoth, you know that this is the plains of Moab. You're in the country of Moab. All right. All right. So what verse was we at? Bamoth. Okay, so now verse 21.
And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, "Let me." You didn't want me to do.
Yeah, you can
20?
keep going. You can keep going because we almost pressed for time.
Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we be past thy brothers.
Right. So they come up, and y'all see where I showed y'all the Arnon, and I showed you the Jabbok. So from the Arnon to the Jabbok was ran by the Amorites. At one time, all of that land was the Moabites, but the Amorites came and conquered some of the Moabites, put them in subjection, and took that land above the Arnon. Above the Arnon. The Moabites was still below the Arnon, though. But the ones that was above the Arnon River went into captivity. And I'm going to show you what happened to them. All right, read on. So now we know that above the Arnon is Sihon, the king of the Amorites. All right, read on.
And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through.
Of course, he's a piece of garbage, just like Edom, right? So he wouldn't let us pass through. Read on.
But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel.
And when you look at Jahaz, you'll see like right above the Arnon or right around the Arnon, you'll see the Jahaz River. There should be like a river called the Jahaz River, and it should be somewhere around like to the right hand side of it. You'll see a wilderness, and this is all below Ammon. It's below Ammon, right? Because remember, we wasn't allowed to go in nobody's land yet. We went around Edom, came up by Moab. Now we by Jahaz. We see the Amorites on the left hand side. We see the Ammonites on the right hand side above us. And now we're at this Jahaz or Jahaz, right? Read on.
And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword.
Israel did what?
Smote him with the edge of the sword.
Now this is the people. This is the king of the Amorites who owned the land between the Arnon and the Jabbok. Go ahead.
And possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was strong. Right.
So now you see, can y'all see on y'all book? Y'all see the Jabbok? Or y'all see the Arnon?
I see the Arnon.
And you see the Jabbok. The Jabbok is up higher. You'll see like another river up higher, a little bit higher, before you get into the kingdom of Og or Bashan. Can you show them that out of that picture real quick? The two rivers.
Are they right next to each other?
They're not right. There's one.
So it's
the
one and
Arnon
one
is
in
below.
between?
Arnon is by Moab,
Kanamakan.
and then Jabbok is up by the top of Gad. It depends on what picture you're looking at.
Okay, Kanamakan.
The top of Gad before you hit Manasseh, or if you're looking at an ancient, it'll say Og of Bashan, the Jabbok River. You'll be able to see it from this book from with
Oh, there go to Jabbok. Damn. Okay.
Matazialis. So that's a large.
You said from Arnon to Jabbok?
Yeah, that's a large.
From one line.
Oh,
Yeah, one line to the other. Now at one time, that was all Moab.
Right.
You see where Moab is below the Arnon.
Kanamakan.
At one time, that was all Moab, below and above the Arnon.
Yo, right?
But you gotta keep going down. That's the Arnon, and then go there go the Jabbok right there. Two black lines. That black line right there. Yeah. So the Dead Sea to the left is their border, and then to the right you see Ammon. That's the border.
Yeah,
So Israel came in.
It got it parted out in my joint.
Right.
Like
So
it's like
Israel
over here. Yeah.
So Israel came and defeated Sihon.
Yeah.
Took all of that from Arnon to Jabbok.
That's right.
To the right to Ammon. Well, we didn't mess with Ammon. What it said? It said the borders are strong. Right now, don't mess with Ammon. Right? All right. So now we getting the gist of what's going on. Like, okay, what's going on first? Moab owned all that. Then the Amorites came in and took from Arnon to Jabbok. Then we come in, Israel, we come in and Sihon don't let us pass through.
Right.
He don't let us go to the King's Highway to pass through. That's all we trying to do is pass through. We said, nigga, we ain't going to eat nothing. We just going to pass through. We're not going to turn from the left or to the right. We're just going to go straight through and just get to where we got to go. But of course, he came out to fight Israel. So now the land that the Amorites took from Moab belongs to us.
Right.
Now, Israel has the land from Arnon to the Jabbok. All right, read on.
And Israel took all these cities.
Israel did what?
Took all these cities.
Now, these cities belong to Israel. Now, what is part of these cities? Part of the cities that we took is the plains of Moab.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
And Israel took all these cities. And Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites in in Heshbon, and all the villages thereof.
Right. So if you look at your map, you'll see Heshbon. You'll see that's kind of one of the easier places to see. Right. So we dwelt in all that. What's to the left of Heshbon? Plains of Moab. Okay. That belongs to us now. The Amorites, the Moabites are not in possession of it. The Amorites is not in possession of it. Now it belongs to the Israelites. All right. So go down to verse 26. Read on.
For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab.
He fought against it. So remember, this land belonged to the Amorites that we just took. And it's telling you that he fought against the former owner,
right?
The Moabites, right? Read on.
And taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Arnon.
Right. So remember, so now the Moabites, you see where the Moabites is below Arnon.
Right.
They really went all the way up to Jabbok. But the Amorites came in and took all that down to Arnon. So now you just see the Moabites where you see them on all the pictures. You'll see the Moabites below the Arnon. Just this little part. You see what I'm saying? All right. So can you drop down to verse 29?
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 21 and verse 29. Woe to thee, Moab.
Mm-hmm.
Thou art undone.
Nah, they're undone. Right? Read on.
O people of Shamash, he hath given his sons that escaped and his daughters into captivity unto Sihon, king of the Amorites.
Right. So remember, the part above the Arnon, right, was owned by the Moabites. What happened to the Moabites that was above Arnon? It just told you right there that the Amorites took them into captivity.
Right.
The Amorites took the Moabites above the Arnon into captivity. All right, he didn't take the king of the Moabites below the Arnon because they're still there. We see them still there. Come on now, we could use common sense. But any Moabite that was above the Arnon River was taken into captivity by the Amorites. Who just beat the Amorites? We did. Now let's see what happened to everybody, right? The Amorites, the goddamn Moabites that was in that portion, in that land above Arnon. Give me Numbers chapter 22 and 1. So we'll just go down.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 22 and verse 1. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab.
Where was we at?
In the plains of Moab.
In the plains of Moab. Read on.
On this side Jordan by Jericho.
So we was on this side, Jordan.
Okay.
You're on the right-hand side. Remember, when you see the Dead Sea, you'll see that the Jordan River goes up from out of the Dead Sea. Jericho's on the left-hand side. Plains of Moab is on the right-hand side.
Right.
That's where Israelites was at. It's telling you right here. Right? Read on.
On this side, on this side Jordan by Jericho, and Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid.
Right. So now we see, so now we see that Balak is the son of Zippor. This is a Moabite.
Right.
Right. It says, and Balak, the son of Zippor, saw that all Israel had done to the Amorites. So they're below the Arnon River, the Moabites below the Arnon River, Balak and Zippor, and they see everything that's going on across that river.
Right.
And they like, God damn. What did it say they was?
They were sore afraid.
Sore afraid. Like, man, I hope they don't cross that damn river. Like, they ain't not playing. The same way Rahab understood what those brothers was doing when they was there. She knew they was coming to conquer.
Right.
The king of Moab knows, he sees what's going on.
Right.
And they sore afraid. Right? Read on.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian.
Salakia, could you read number 3 one more time?
And Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel.
Right, he's afraid of the children of Israel. I just wanted to get that part. Read on.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field? So the Midianites
was there. Midian was there. Just to the brother's point from earlier. But we're gonna drop that, right? Go to Deuteronomy 2 and 32. So that we can find out what happened to everybody that's in the land. So lock it for skipping around, but this is the only way that you're gonna find out what happened to the Amorites and the Moabites that the Amorites had in captivity.
Right.
All right, go ahead. Deuteronomy 2 and 32, and we're gonna read it down to 34.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2 and verse 32. Then Sion came out against us.
Who?
Sion came out against us.
Who was Sion? Sion was the king of the Amorites, right? This is Moses. This is Moses giving an account of everything that happened. Go ahead.
He and all his people.
Him and all his people. Ooh, wait. Go ahead.
To fight at Jahaz. And the Lord our God delivered him before us.
What did the Lord our God do?
He held us
he held us down, right?
Right.
He held us down. Remember, this is the same area, the same places. Because remember, it said that when we went to Jahaz, we just read that that's where the Israelites had went up to Jahaz, but we didn't go into the land of Ammon because they was too strong. However, we did destroy the Amorites. Go ahead.
And the Lord our God delivered him before us, and we smote him and his sons and all his people.
We smote him, his sons, and all his people. Read on.
And we took all his cities at that time.
We took all the cities. So the plains of Moab, everything from above the Arnon to the Jabbok, everything in there, Heshbon, all them cities. We took all the cities at that time. Read on.
and utterly destroyed the men and the women, and the little ones.
Not the little ones.
God.
Not the little ones.
God.
God is all love. The Bible is all about love and ooh-wee. Cookies, cakes, and bubbles. It says that they took over everything that the Amorites had at that time. They killed everybody.
Right.
And not only did they just destroy everybody from the Amorites, what it said
of every city, we left none to remain.
None to remain. So that means whoever was from the Moabites originally, that the Amorites had in captivity, that we read about, when we came and destroyed the Amorites, we left nothing standing.
Damn.
That might be hard for some people to swallow. Yeah, especially if you've been raised a certain way.
That's why the Christians will say that was God's anger in the Old Testament. We're not killing kids in the New Testament.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
What the scriptures say, happy shall we be.
That's right.
When we get to dash thy baby's head on the goddamn wall, or the stone, or the tree, or whatever.
Because they definitely did it to our kids.
They did it to ours.
You know what I mean? But we forget about that. That's the Salakia, if I make sure.
You got it. We love to forgive and forget.
We definitely do. And that's why they try to take it out of the schools, because they don't want our kids to learn about this. That's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is so important.
Man.
Because we're going to keep that thing fresh in your memory.
Fresh. Very fresh. And this is how we keep it fresh.
Right.
Right? Could you drop down to Deuteronomy 3?
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse 1.
Right, because not only, so now we destroyed everybody from the Amorites. Now we have the land from the Arnon River all the way up to the Jabbok River. Above the Jabbok River, you'll read about this dude named Og. Og was the king of Bashan. So now let's see what happened to the land above the Jabbok. Read on.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse 1. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us. He and all his people to battle at Edrei. At
Edrei, right? And so could you show them Edrei? Can you show them where Edrei is, Mataziala? Well, y'all brothers might be able to see it in y'all book. I'm not sure. So, it's like some maps have it on there and some maps don't have it on there. So you'll see up in Bashan, you'll see like it's kind of like off to the right a little bit. You'll see Edrei. It's off to the right a little bit up in Bashan, above the Jabbok River, though. And on your page right there, Mataziala, I underlined it. Just to kind of give everybody a reference point. There you go, right there. That's the line, Salakia, y'all. But there's it right there, right? Right. So we went up into that land after you good. And I'll just say it's above the Jabbok River, all the land above the Jabbok River, right? That's where we went next. And when we went up that way, the king of Bashan, which is his name is Og, he came to fight us. He came to fight us, him and all his people. That's what the scripture said. Read on. Because
it has blocks where they settle that on my joint.
Some of them are real good. Like
this joint is showing like
exactly. Like this got some decent ones in there too. Con, sir.
All right, Salakia.
Where was we? Deuteronomy 3, and so we went up to at Edrei, right? Verse 2.
And the Lord said unto me, fear him not, for I will deliver him and all his people and his land into thy hand.
Look, and when the Lord tell you something like that, you just it's on like butter popcorn.
Damn right.
Right? The Lord said, fear not,
right,
Bashan, or fear not Og,
right,
and the people of Bashan, I will deliver them and all not some of his people, all of his people in his land, and into thy hand. And thou shalt do unto him, read on,
as thou didst unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon.
What did we do to Sihon?
We destroyed them.
And everybody, right?
We killed their kids.
Everything, right? Read on, read on. Read on. Read on.
Good. So the Lord our God delivered into our hands Og also, the king of Bashan, and all his people.
All of his people. Read on.
We smote him until none was left to him remaining.
Right. Nothing. Nothing standing, nothing moving. Nothing left.
Right.
Of Og and Bashan. Right?
That's right.
Verse 4.
And we took all his cities at that time. There was not a city which we took not from them.
It was not a city that we ain't taken. Woo! This is the Lord, man.
Right.
This is the power that you can have when the Lord is with you.
Right.
Take a city and all of the city, not just one city, all of his cities and none left. It's about to tell you how many cities it was. Read on.
Right. 60 cities.
How many is 3 scores? 60 damn cities. Because the score is 20. So 60 damn cities we took. Read on.
All the region of Argob, the kingdom of Og and Bashan.
One more. Read on.
All these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars.
Now look, we just took 60 cities, and it just said they were gated with wall. They were what? High walls, gates,
and
bars. And we still took them. Y'all know that scripture where and it says, y'all see when it says, when the Lord is with us, we'll scale a wall 10 feet high or something like that. You know what I mean? We'll scale a wall. I don't know the exact, I'm paraphrasing it, but there's a scripture in the Old Testament where it talks about how we would scale 10 feet walls and stuff. Yeah, walled cities. You thought you was hiding. You thought just because you build a wall, you're going to keep us out of here?
Right.
Nah, we're going to come and scale that wall, right? And come get you. You can't hide. So now what America does is America build walls. Not only does America build walls, they have like what they call silos. I believe it's silos, like underground bunkers and stuff like that.
Right.
You think if we can't scale a wall that's 10 feet, 20 feet high, that we can't get down 10, 20 feet in the ground, the Most High ain't going to make a way for us to get down there and knock on that silo door? Read on. No, that was verse 5. Okay, so now we got the history. You see how Israel came into the land. We see how Israel came into the land, right? Now, give me... let me see something. I want the one where it says that we was in the land 300 years. Now, if you want to know why we didn't go into the land of Moab, could you read Deuteronomy 2 and 9? Go up to 8.
2 and 9?
2, yeah, Deuteronomy 2 and 8 and 9.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 2 and verse 8. And when he passed by from our brethren, the children of Esau.
Right. So now we passed by them. We passed by we passed by Esau. Now I'm gonna show you why. Remember, we went up around Esau and we came up by Moab. But remember, we didn't end up fighting them. We didn't end up fighting the Moabites. We fought the Amorites.
Right.
It didn't mention anything about Moabites except the plains of Moab. Read on. The water.
Which dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plains.
Seir, that's Seir. You know, Mount Seir is where Esau, yeah.
Through the way of the plain from Elah, and from
Ezion,
Gaber. We turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. And the Lord said unto me, distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give thee of their land for a possession, because I have given Ar unto the children of Lot, for a possession.
Right. So that's why when you see how we came around the Edomites, right? Edomites didn't want to let us pass, so we had to walk around the Edomites. We had to walk around them and go up to damn near like where Ammon was, because that's where Jahaz is. And we ended up fighting the Amorites that was like right directly across from us. But we passed by the Moabites below the Arnon River, and we didn't mess with them because it was commanded to us not to mess with them. That's why the Moabites is still there below the Arnon River, because that land was given to them as a possession from whoever the heir of Lot. It was given to Lot for a possession. All right, now remember, Ruth 1:1 says that this is happening during the time of the judges. So I just had to go through the history and show you how we came into the land, because there is a misconception that the plains of Moab was Moabites there.
Right.
But we just showed you that wasn't Moabites there. The Israelites took over all that. The Moabites is actually below the Arnon River. All right. Now give me Judges. Let me get this real quick. You got it.
That's Lot's
inheritance. That's the Moabites at the bottom of the Arnon. Yeah. So that's why we didn't go and tear them up. You know what I mean? Because we tore everybody else up. But when you look at the map, you'll see Moab, you'll see Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh.
Right.
So we got everything right there except Moab and Edom. You got it.
I got another question.
Of course.
This wasn't the first time that we had to go around Edom, was it?
Yeah, this is
around during the when we first.
that was us coming out. Yeah, that's the first time we went around them.
This okay. Come.
Yeah, that's the first time we went around them. In Numbers 21, did we go around them again?
Did we go around them when we?
Exodus, we didn't go. We didn't. They didn't show anything in Exodus. We didn't go around them in Exodus. Unless you can find it. Find it for me. And then, you know what I mean? Don't let me not misspeak. Because see, it's right here. We went around them niggas one time. But remember, it couldn't have been, because remember, we're going into the land of Israel. And so, as we're going into the land of Israel, right, they wouldn't let us pass by. Edom wouldn't let us pass by. So we had to go around Edom. And remember, they started smiting people. They started killing people from the backhand side of us. Right? And then, so we're trying to travel up the King's Highway so that we can go up above, like go up high enough to cross over the River Jordan and to come down into Canaan, or what is Israel now. So if you can find it, of course, give it to me. But you should see another part in there, Numbers, one of these places where it talks about how we came in, around Esau, and they killed the hinder part of us. The older people, the women and the children, because Esau is a piece of garbage. And maybe that was the reason why they were so afraid. I'm not sure. You can show me, you can try to find it for me, right? But I'm going to keep going. All right, so now Judges, now we can read Judges to find out what's going on in Ruth, because Judges is happening at the same time. So could somebody give me Judges 11:5? Judges 11:5. Isaiah, we're on a mission right now. Judges 11:5.
Judges chapter 11 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
And so it was that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see that, remember at one point in time, we didn't mess with the Amorites, but now the Amorites had came to make war with the Israelites, right? And so, hold on, I think I missed a verse. So let's go back, right? And we was just reading was we reading in Numbers 32? We was just reading Numbers 32 and 1-5, right? Can you go back to Numbers 32 real quick before you can hold that spot right there? I just want to show y'all something real quick. Really quick. Numbers 32 and 19.
Oh, snap. Where am I at?
Numbers 32 and 19. Am I in the right? Oh no, I'm not in the right spot.
All right.
So we see the history that's going on, right? We see how we just knocked off the king of Bashan. And we took that land too. So now we own everything from the Arnon River, past the Jabbok River, all the way up to Bashan, right? And so Numbers 32, what I said, 32 and verse 19. Select it real quick. Let me get there. 32 and 19. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 32 and verse 19. For we will not inherit with them on the yonder side Jordan or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side,
right?
Jordan eastward.
So you'll see that Gad, you'll see that Reuben, and you'll see that half of the tribe of Manasseh, they wanted to stay on this side of the Jordan. Remember, we haven't gotten to the promised land yet. We're still trying to get to the promised land. We're walking around trying to get there. And Manasseh, well, half of Manasseh, Reuben and Gad was like, nah, we trying to stay right here. Remember, they conquered this land already. So they like, we like this land right here. This is nice and suitable for us, right? That's what it said in verse 4. We will not inherit with them on the yonder side of Jordan. Right? We're on this side of Jordan. We're not going to go yonder side of Jordan, right? Or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side of the Jordan, eastward. So on this side of the Jordan, right? And then eastward will be over to the Ammonites, right? Read on.
And Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if ye will go armed before the Lord to war. All right.
You could drop down to verse 33.
Verse 33. And Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and to half of the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land with the cities thereof, and the coast, even the cities of the country around about.
Right. So they got what they asked for. They said, Moses, we're not going to go into the promised land because our inheritance is right here. We want this land right here that we already conquered. And Moses granted them that wish. He said, look, and Moses gave unto them even to the children of Gad. Remember, Gad is Reuben at the bottom, like Reuben borders, when you look at your book, Reuben borders Moab, then you have Gad, and then you have Manasseh. So, and Moses gave unto him the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and unto the half of the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, which was all that from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, which is beyond the Jabbok, of Bashan, the land which is the cities thereof in the coast. So they got all the cities on the coast, even the cities in the middle, in the country and the coast. We got all of that, right? So just wanted to show you that part I kind of missed. Right? I wanted to show you we owned all of that now. All right. Now, when you go to Judges 11 and 5, now we'll start from there. And I'm going to kind of pick it up a little bit. Judges 11 and 5.
Judges chapter 11 and verse 5. And so it was that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Japhet out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Japhet, come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon.
All right, now drop down to 12.
Verse 12. And Japhet sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land?
Right. So you see how the Ammonites is coming to make war with Israel now. Right. And Israel is in the land of what used to be called the Amorites. So Israel owns that now. And so Ammon comes out to send some people out there, and they're like, man, what you have to do with me? Read on.
And the kingdom of the children of Ammon answered unto the messengers of Japhet,
So this is what he said. This is his answer.
because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt from Arnon, even unto Jabbok.
So this piece of garbage tried to lie and say, look, the reason why I'm coming to fight is because y'all took my land that was from Arnon into Jabbok, when that didn't belong to the Ammonites. It belonged to the Amorites. And before the Amorites, it belonged to the Moabites. Right? So he tried to lie. Read on.
And unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably.
And you see, you hear this pump piece of garbage? Like, restore them peaceably. Like, he coming to fight. And he's telling you why what's going on. Then he said, now restore them peaceably. Like somebody's just going to be a chump. They'll be like, all right, here you go, man. Here go the deeds to the land. You can have it. Now everything belongs to you from the Arnon to the Jabbok. Man, get the hell out of here. Right? Read on.
And Japhet sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said unto him, thus saith Japhet, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon.
Right, we didn't take away their land. Read on. We didn't take away Moab, because guess what? The Amorites was there when we got there. And we didn't take away the land of Ammon because y'all was over here. And like I said, the Amorites was right there. We didn't take away neither one of y'all land. Read on.
But when Israel came up from Egypt and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea and came in Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying,
you could drop that. Go down to 25.
So like, so this is it.
That's the one where it says 300 years?
Not the one that Edom and the Red Sea. I got it mixed up with the Red Sea. This is
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
Verse 25. And now art thou anything better than Balak, the son of Zippor?
Like, are you anything better than Balak? Remember, Balak is the king in Moab right now. Are you anything better than him? Read on.
Zippor, the king of Moab. Did he ever strive against Israel, or did he ever fight against them?
Right. Did he ever come against Israel or try to fight against Israel? But you saying that this land belongs to you, right? Read on.
While Israel dwelt in Heshbon,
when we dwelt in Heshbon, read on.
In her towns, and in
Aurora,
in her towns, and in all the cities that belong by the coast of Aaron, 300 years. Where therefore did ye not recover them within that time?
Look, we've been dwelling in that land for 300 years. Years. Hey, not even years. Years. 300 years. We've been in that land. And you just now coming to ask for them? Right. Not that. I don't really got a lot of time, but you just now coming to ask for them. What does that tell you? That tells you that after we conquered those lands, that Israel was in those lands for 300 years before the Ammonites, who was it? The Ammonites came and tried to even ask anything about it. I'm just giving you an example of how long we was in that land, right? This is during the time of Judges. Guess who else this is during the time of? Ruth. So 300 years Israelites been in that land before Ruth was born. And then now Ruth is born and you telling me that she a Moabite? She ain't a Moabite. Moabites ain't owned none of that land for I don't know how for 300 plus years. There's no way that she could be Moabite, right? Because Israelites own that land. Anybody born in that area would have been an Israelite. Period. Right? So if I could, real quick, you wanted to say something?
No.
All right, if I could, real quick, this is some of the things that they have a hard time with. So, of course, y'all remember where Moses died at? Somebody give me Deuteronomy 34:5. Real quick, where did Moses die? Right outside the promised land. He was looking at it. Let's see where he died at.
Deuteronomy chapter 34 and verse 5. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, died in the land of Moab.
Hey, they don't say he's a goddamn Moabite. He died in the land of Moab. Read on.
According to the word of the Lord. And
Verse 8, and then after that scripture, you can drop down to 8.
And the children of Israel wept for Moses.
Yeah, we cried for the brother because he was a good brother. Read on.
In the plains of Moab, 30 days.
Look, the land of Moab and the plains of Moab is the same thing. It just said the same thing. He died in the plains of Moab. He died looking at the goddamn promised land. But this is all still Israelite ran territory. He died in Israelite ran territory. Right. He didn't die in a territory that was ran by another nation. Right. So 300 years after all of that happens, now you have Ruth come onto the scene. Right. Everybody believes that she's a non-Israelite because it says, yeah. Now go to that real quick. Yo, we're gonna go over 10 minutes, man. 10 minutes. Moabitish, and he's not able.
So like, just to tie it in,
you got it. Let's get it.
Trying to say that this Rahab is the same as Rechab in Matthew in the genealogy.
Right, and it's not.
Just show that she didn't live over past 300 years.
It can't be. it literally can't be, right? So, what was that question I asked you, Isaiah?
You wanted a scripture for Ruth the Moabitess?
Yeah. So that's in Ruth. There should be one in. It should be. I'm gonna get it for you right now. Is it one Ruth one in? So first they say women of Moab. That's the first thing they usually hung up on because it says women of Moab. But let me tell you something because I'm short for time. Women of Moab is not the same as daughters of Moab. Right. So I'm gonna give y'all that to write that down. Women of Moab is not the same as daughters of Moab. All right. Women of Moab, just people that live there. And when you look up women of Moab, that Moab is different from daughters of Moab. Look up daughters of Moab. You'll see one that says Mawaba, and you'll see that one that says Mawabya. Right. It's two different things. All right. What it was 2 and 6?
2 and 2 and 2 and 6.
Okay, 2 and 2. Yeah, let me get that. Okay, so Moabitess, right? So I'm gonna look up Moabitess, and it says a citizen of Moab, an inhabitant of the land of Moab. So it's just somebody that lives in that land. Very simple. It's very simple, and we don't even got to check out the Moabitish because we understand Jew and Jewish, grayish, blackish, childish. It's very simple. All right. Now I'm gonna just finish these 2 points real quick, right? Now 2 and 8. 2 and 8. They have a problem with 2 and 8, Ruth 2 and 8. The other one is right before 2 and 8, it says that the other sister went to go to her gods. Naomi says, like, she went to her gods. Now you go to your family. That word gods, look up that word gods, right? Y'all read Ruth, look up that word gods. And it says, the first thing it says is judges or rulers. And we're in the time of the judges. It's very simple. She's telling her that she's not telling her to go worship some big goddamn idols because it says the other girl went back to her gods. Go like with her. The Bible's not going to tell you to go worship some goddamn idols. That don't make sense. Right. But when you look at this word in context, she's going back to her judges. Remember, we all had judges that were in different. Judah had their judges. Right. Ephraim had their judges. Manasseh had their judges. Reuben, Gad, so on. Go ahead.
So it's like saying your lords.
That's it. It's very. With a little bit of scholarship, you can figure this out. Good. Okay. Now one more. Ruth 2 and 8.
Ruth chapter 2 and verse 8. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens.
Ooh-wee. Boaz like, nah, don't go to the other field, man. You just stay right on here, you little young tenderoni. Right? Stay right here. That's what we just read in the genealogy of Christ, right? It says Salmon and Rechab had Boaz. Not Rahab the goddamn harlot. His mom was named Rechab. Not Rahab. All right, read on.
Verse 9. let thy eyes be on the field that do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that shall not touch thee? And when thou artist, go unto the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn.
Right. So he said, stay here, drink from the water that I got the brothers already that drawn up for you. And also you can stay here because I got it to where you don't have to worry about them hounding you. You know how brothers can get. You know, that's a problem that we got in Israel. We got a problem with hounding women. Yeah, I'm about to kill me a couple. Kill me a couple Negroes, man. Look, brother, that's what belong to me, man. Let me just tell you. Right, I had to almost kill me a couple niggas. But point is that he's saying, stay here, drink from this water. You're safe. I got it to where the brothers ain't gonna touch you. Nobody's gonna try to mess with you or hound you or anything like that. Read on.
Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, why have I found grace in thy eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, saying I am a stranger?
Right. Now they have a problem with that. Oh, see, she said she was a stranger. She is essentially a stranger to Boaz. Right. Why is she a stranger to Boaz? Because she's from a different tribe. Right. They're from one tribe. She's from another. Right. That's it. I haven't seen you before. You are a stranger to me. Right. It's very, very, very simple. And Boaz ended up marrying this sister. Right. And this sister became the grandmother of David. They're trying to just bring in any heathen to say that, you know, we could just love everybody and heathen. See, that was a heathen. And she's the grandmother of David. No, she's not. Well, no, she is, but she wasn't a heathen. Right. Salakia for that. Right. Rechab and Rahab is two different people. Rechab is the mother of Boaz. Rechab in the New Testament is the mother of Boaz. It said Salmon begat Boaz of Rechab. So then that means that Rechab is the mother of this brother right here. Right. Very simple. Rahab and Rechab, two different people. And with that being said, I'd like to turn the class over to Precinct Officer Mataziala.
That's great.
So, like, I wish I would have had the slides, man.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hey, I was trying to get Thasiyam slides. Thasiyam, if you, I didn't check the chat, but if you watch it, man, I'm about to take your slides. You got it.
All right, SUPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When new brother and sister come to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and show themselves of the world. Need transportation, teachable arrangements. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they will seek counsel from the heads. 5 of 6 commandments. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Read 10th in Hebrew, Ma'ashra. That's 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest funds, free roll offering for the priest. So whatever amount you like to donate. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the memorial blowing of trumpets, which is going to be Friday, September 15th.
That's great.
In Smyrna, Delaware. All right, 202 North DuPont Boulevard. You need the address. We also have, if you're preparing to go across the pond, across to England, Europe, Scotland, whatever you want to call it, King James Castle. Make sure you prepare now properly. Make sure you have your funds together. You know what I mean? Right. Commander General Johanna will be over there, stepping over there in England, in Europe, in blessing them, Akim, Aquafium over there, so that they can be able to have. We got General Commander General Johanna all the time. General Hyman all the time.
Most High Christ.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime to have them in their presence.
That's right.
Take advantage of it. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, remember Israel, Elijah. Remember Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Bakatham.
Guys, my time. Saul, can you turn? Courtesy salute. Man, Israel, Majah Shabbat. Majah. Rock.
Yahweh Shamar Alatham Hashem Yahushai.
Guys, my time.